ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नित्यानंद नमस्तुभ्यं प्रेमानंदप्रदायिने कलौ कल्मषनाशाय जानवापतये नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामने गौरतुसे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। आप सभी भक्तों का हार्दिक स्वागत है। वेलकम ऑल द डिवोटीज फॉर टुडेज डिस्कशन ऑन श्रीमद् भगवद गीता। सो वी आर डिस्कसिंग फ्रॉम chapter second, chapter second, and verse number 34. Last time we discussed from verse number 33. अथ च अथ चेत्त्वम् इमं धर्म्यं संग्रामं न करिष्यसि तथा स्वधर्मं कीर्तिं च हित्वा पापम् अवाप्स्यसि. In this verse, which we discussed day before yesterday, Krishna said, if however you do not perform your religious duty of fighting, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties and thus lose your reputation as a fighter. So, Arjuna did not so much attention, much eagerness or enthusiasm to perform devotional service in the beginning when Krishna instructed in the matter of science of soul. So Arjuna was reluctant to fully accept and that I'm not this body, I'm spirit soul. So my only duty is to follow the instructions of the Supreme Lord. So then Krishna, understanding this point, Krishna then he told that okay, as a kshatriya also, if you think, if you are thinking yourself to be this body, a kshatriya, you should fight. And and if you avoid, if however you do not perform your religious duty of fighting, that means this fighting duty on the level of material religion, if you do not perform, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties, thus lose your reputation as a fighter. So, not only you will incur the sin, but you will lose the reputation as a fighter also. Swadharmam kirtim chahitva papam avapsasi. But this is for Arjuna, who was unable to accept devotional service directly. That's why this applies. But on the basis of this verse, sometimes uh, people they try to condemn those devotees who abandon their material duties in order to fully surrender to Krishna. So, in that condition, this is not applicable. If, however, applies to a person who neglects to serve the Supreme Lord Krishna. So either one should completely serve, completely become surrendered to the Supreme Lord, then he can abandon all his material duties. And how many material duties? There are so many material duties. We have debts. We have debts towards our parents, debts towards the nation, and debts towards material nature, Prakriti, demigods, and trees, plants, and other ordinary living entities also. Just like and and of course we have great debts towards our forefathers, other living entities, and from anyone we if whatever benefit we get to survive in this material world, we get the debt, and we have the duty. We are duty bound to serve them, to give back to them our service. If we neglect it, then we certainly incur sin. And for each and every debt, if somebody avoids, there is a particular sin, and for that particular reason, for performing that particular sin, he has to go to a particular hellish planet. This is mentioned in the scriptures. So one cannot avoid material duties also if he doesn't agrees to serve Krishna. But if somebody transcends these bodily designations and completely surrenders to the Supreme Lord, understanding very well that I am not this body at all, and I am an eternal servant of Krishna, then he can abandon all his duties towards parents, family, friends, relatives, nation, society, material nature, demigods also, great sages, demigods, and ordinary living entities. Uh, he can abandon all the duties and just be fixed up uh, in the service of the Supreme Lord. And the greatest service one can perform for the Supreme Lord is by constantly remembering him. This is a very wonderful thing. In this material world, if you want to liquidate your debts towards somebody, you have to practically do something for them. It's not just simply you think about your parents, so your duty towards parents is solved. No, you have to do something. No? But Krishna, as far as Supreme Lord is concerned, if somebody is simply out of love and affection, he constantly thinks of the Supreme Lord, remembers his lotus feet, chants his holy name, all he is freed from all the debts towards not only the Supreme Lord, but he is freed from all the debts and towards each and every living entity. He is completely freed. He is no more duty bound to act for anyone else's benefit. And that is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Man vana bhav mad bhakto mad tyaji mam namaskuru. Mam evash mam evashyasi satyam te pratijano priyasyu me. Krishna explains this. In Bhagavatam also this is mentioned. One who has taken complete shelter unto the lotus feet of Mukunda, Krishna, he has no other debts or duties to perform in this material world. He is immediately freed from all material dharma, material duties. But for a person who is unable to do so, means who is unable to accept Krishna as the Supreme Lord and who is unable to accept the devotional service of the Supreme Lord, then he must get sinful reaction for avoiding any of the material duties, any of the material duties. That is what is Krishna is mentioning in this particular verse. And what will be the result? The next sloka explains about this. Akirtim chapi bhutani kathaishyanti avyayam sambhavitasya cha kirtir maranadatirichyate. Translation. So people will always speak of your infamy, and for a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. So Krishna is telling Akirtan, because if you neglect to execute your duty as a kshatriya, then akirtim cha api bhutani. Bhutani means people in general. All the people will blaspheme you. You will get great infamy, disrespect. In the previous verse, Krishna told that hitva papam avapsyasi. If you give up, hitva means if you give up, swadharmam, sangramam na karishyasi. This sangramam or this battlefield, fighting in this battlefield, dharma sangramam. It is dharma sangramam, dharmam sangramam, religious duty. This fight was not an ordinary fight. This was a religious fight, and that was material duty, material dharma for Arjuna. So for avoiding it, he will get sinful reaction. Krishna told. In the next verse, uh, Krishna says that not only you will get sinful reaction, which result you will be getting after leaving this body. Uh, you may go to hellish planet and suffer. But not only that, even while living in this material world, if you avoid, then also your position will be very awkward. You will not be able to live here. Why? Because so many people, they will criticize you, blaspheme you, and for a respectable person like you, who are a great Kshatriya, great warrior. Arjuna was famous as a great warrior, Kshatriya, because he even fought with Lord Shiva and defeated, or rather, we can say he satisfied Lord Shiva, pleased Lord Shiva. So, in this way, his fame was very great. So, for a person, for a great warrior like Arjuna, who attained such a great fame, not only on over this earthly planet, but all over the universe, his fame was there. Even demigods, they appreciated his uh, this warriorship, great warrior, that Arjuna is a great warrior. They also appreciated. So if Arjuna leaves his battlefield, then all the people, they will criticize him. Kathi ishyanti te avayam. Avayam means forever. It is said, the name of fame, reputation uh, remains for long duration of time, forever. And if somebody gets disrespect, that also continues for long duration of time. So Kirtim Chapi Bhutani Katheshanti Te Abhyam. Forever they will criticize you. Even when you leave the body, the consequences will be suffered by your descendant as well. They will also hear that, and just see, these are the descendants of that Arjuna who abandoned the battle because he became fearful. So in this way, your akirtim or infamy, people will speak of your infamy all over the world and forever. And sambhavitasya means for a respectable man. Akirti maranadati richate. It's worse than death. And especially for a kshatriya, because those who are kshatriya, they are too much in mode of passion. So they require this name and fame. And when they are encouraged with respectable words, and when they are given worship, respect, adoration, and glories, when they hear their glories, then they become very enthusiastic to perform activity. So that is because of mode of passion. So those who are situated in mode of passion, so when they hear about their greatness and they get some appreciation, then they become very enthusiastic to perform certain tasks. So that is because of mode of passion. But those who are in mode of goodness, they do not require any kind of appreciation or any kind of this encouragement, external encouragement in the form of appreciation or respect or adoration, glories. No. In the mode of goodness, who is situated in the mode of goodness? Those who are Brahmanas. Brahmanas are situated in mode of goodness. So they act on the platform of knowledge. So they very well understand that because this is my duty, so I should perform it. Whether somebody recognizes it or not doesn't matter for me. So they are Brahmanas. They don't care for their name, fame, adoration, and glories. But those who are situated in mode of passion, and Kshatriyas, administrators, are more or less in mode of passion. So they require to hear their glories, greatness, appreciation, and then they can work very enthusiastically, remain happy while living in this world. So Krishna is trying to make Arjuna understand what will be your situation, my dear Arjuna. If you run away from this battlefield out of your compassion, but other people, those who considered you to be very great warrior, they will not understand your internal mood that you are abandoning the battle for out of compassion. No, they will think that you have become coward. They will think that you became fearful after seeing the military arrangement of Kaurava's party. In this way, they will criticize you. They will. Krishna even tells in the second chapter, in the beginning of the verses, Krishna says that this is like you are acting like an important person. Klavyam maisgama partha naitat tayupapadyate. Do not be important. You are a man, Baba. You are a man. You should act like a man. Why are you becoming so morose? because Arjuna was practically crying in the battlefield. He was crying. A man never cries, even if there is so much danger, risk, still he cannot cry. So Krishna also chastised Arjuna like this. So and Krishna is telling that if you abandon this battlefield, so people will think like this, that you are either you became fearful or you are not a man at all. You lost your power and you have become important. So in this way, this defaming will give you so much pain in the heart. You will not be able to digest it. You will not be able to tolerate it because you are a Kshatriya. You are not a Brahmana. A Brahmana can tolerate all kinds of insults and disrespect. So it is said, Kshatriyas, they can tolerate physical pains, and Brahmanas can tolerate mental disrespect, mental pains. Brahmanas cannot tolerate physical pain. They become fearful because of when they find some physical means situation is there where they may get hurt like this. So they become very fearful. But on mental level and spiritual level, they are very tolerant. They can tolerate any kind of agitation of mind, any kind of disrespect. It doesn't matter for them. So by nature, physically they are very delicate, soft, but mentally and spiritually they are very strong. On the other hand, Kshatriyas, physically they are very fit and strong. It is said in the battlefield, a real Kshatriya, when he is hurt and when he sees his own blood, his enthusiasm to fight becomes more and more. He becomes more enthusiastic to fight when he sees his own blood coming out of his body. But a Brahmana, he cannot see even the blood coming out of others' body. He will immediately run away from the battlefield. What to speak of his own blood coming out? Because he's soft in nature. By nature, he's soft and physically also. But anyway, the important point is for a Kshatriya like Arjuna, she will not be able to tolerate the insults of others. In that case, then Arjuna, you may even attempt to commit suicide also. That's why Krishna is telling, Maranadati richate, Sambhavitasya chakirtit Maranadati richate. Dishonor is worse than death. For whom? For a Kshatriya. For a Kshatriya like him. So these things are applicable to those persons who are situated in mode of passion and whose consciousness is covered by the Atma Buddhi, bodily consciousness. Because this section is meant for those people who cannot immediately come out of the bodily misconception and they identify themselves with this body. So they are entangled, they are conditioned soul. So then, in that case, they have to act according to their bodily platform. If they are Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishya, and Shudra, then they have to follow the dharma of Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Otherwise, they cannot peacefully or successfully progress in this material world. But a person who has get rid himself of all these bodily designations, misconceptions, who is situated in pure Krishna consciousness, above the bodily misconceptions, for him it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Even if there is dishonor, infamy, it doesn't matter because he always acts on the platform of his spiritual Krishna consciousness. He acts. So during the discharge of his Krishna conscious activities, sometimes, or rather most of the times, ordinary people who are situated in bodily conception of life, misconception, they cannot accept or they cannot understand or comprehend the activities performed by a person who is liberated, a liberated person who is situated in Krishna consciousness platform. So in that case, the general tendency will be those people will criticize him, insult him, or if not criticizing, then they will misunderstand him. So in that way, they commit many offenses. But the self-realized soul or person situated in Krishna consciousness, she doesn't at all get hurt by the insults or offenses committed by conditioned souls, because she very well understands that this person is acting against me or dishonoring me because of being unable to understand the real position, that I am not this body, I am a spirit soul. So considering that person to be in mode of ignorance, rather the preacher in Krishna consciousness who is situated in a spiritual platform above bodily misconception, he tries his best to show his mercy upon those offending persons so that they can also gradually understand. Uh, but a person who is situated in bodily consciousness, he will get affected, and then that's why he has to make certain arrangement in material while executing material duties so that he may not end up into such a situation where he may get affected. For devotees, it is very important factor, especially those devotees who are not yet achieved the spiritual platform completely. So they have to adjust. They have to make the material adjustment in such a way that they may not get agitated while living in this material world with materialistic friends and relatives, so that they can peacefully execute Krishna consciousness. But a devotee who has attained to the spiritual platform, who has properly understood, at least understood theoretically, and has accepted, even if he is not fully realized yet, but still, if he has understood and accepted the fact that I'm not this body, so I have nothing to do with the activities of this material body, material things, and the praises, glories, and insults, dishonor and honor given by others, it does not actually matter for me. So in that case, he can simply dedicate himself completely and fully surrender to Krishna and act only on a spiritual platform. He doesn't require to act on material platform at all. So this stage can be achieved by anyone if one is sincere and he sincerely works in Krishna consciousness and performs sincere sadhana, chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then he gradually attains to this platform. And it is quite possible. But till that time, one has to work in such a manner. His behavior towards material world, a materialistic person should be in such a manner that it may not agitate our mind, that we get disturbed in execution of our Krishna conscious duties. So, both as friend and philosopher to Arjuna, Lord Krishna now gives his final judgment regarding Arjuna's refusal to fight. So, Krishna was indeed a very good friend, best friend rather, best friend of Arjuna, very dear friend of Arjuna. But now Krishna has taken the role of a guru, teacher, a spiritual master. So, as a philosopher also, Krishna is telling to Arjuna in both the manners. He is giving the final judgment. The Lord says, Arjuna, if you leave the battlefield before the battle even begins, people will call you a coward. They will not think that you are becoming compassionate towards them. And if you think that, people may call you bad names, but that you will save your life by fleeing the battlefield, then my advice is that you would do better to die in the battle. Uh, because you are a Kshatriya, you have such a great fame. Better you fight and die in this battlefield, you will have your fame intact. It will not be spoiled. And your coming generations will also they will also not have to hear infamy. So that is best for you. Because for us respectable man like you, ill fame is worse than death. So you should not flee for fear of your life, better to die in the battle. That will save you from the ill fame of misusing my friendship and from losing your prestige in society. So Krishna is concerned, a little bit concerned about himself also. Although he is not affected at all, Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. But this is a rasa. So one of the acharyas, they give commentary like this also. Krishna is very much concerned for Arjuna as well as for himself, because Arjuna is a very dear friend of Krishna. So Arjuna, he was living with Krishna, but still he became coward. He became fearful. So in that way, people will not only criticize Arjuna, blaspheme Arjuna, but they may also criticize the friendship of Krishna and Arjuna. Yeah, people may say, what is the benefit of having friendship with Krishna, the Supreme Lord? Even the friendship of Krishna could not induce Arjuna to act on his duty platform. He became fearful and he avoided fighting. So Krishna is concerned. Otherwise, other people, they will not take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. So Krishna has this great concern. If somebody becomes connected to him, becomes related to him, then Krishna makes sure that that person becomes free from Maya, entanglement. Otherwise, his good name will be spoiled. Krishna's name, अपने नाम की चिंता तो सबको होती है. And Supreme Lord is having the great fame throughout not only just earthly planet, but throughout the universe, beyond the universe also. So a devotee who takes full shelter of Krishna's lotus feet dedicates himself to Krishna. So then Krishna also takes the full responsibility to protect that devotee from all kinds of Maya. Even forcefully, Krishna then makes arrangement that how to free this devotee from Maya's entanglement. So this devotee, he has taken shelter of my lotus feet, but he is such a foolish person that although he is chanting my name, he is serving me, and he has become my devotee and associating with my devotees, but he is maintaining material attachments. What kind of nonsense is this? My name, the power of devotional service is such a great power. It's glorified all over all over the scriptures. So this should not get spoiled. Then Krishna does some arrangement. Sometimes he forcefully um, he takes away those things which creates attachment for a devotee in his life. Forcefully he takes away. If a devotee voluntarily, if he doesn't give up those attachments, then Krishna may take forcefully also. If that devotee is even little sincere about devotional service to Krishna. So that is great mercy of the Supreme Lord. He does like this sometimes. So in this way, in this particular verse, Krishna is instructing that will save you from the ill fame of misusing my friendship and from losing a prestige in the society. So the final judgment of the Lord was for Arjuna to die in the battle and not withdraw. That was the final judgment Krishna gave in this particular verse by telling Arjuna that if you do not fight, if you avoid this fighting, you will incur not just the sinful reaction, but you will also get the infamy, and that will be worse than death. So, okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, you can ask. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. So Arjun was a Brahmin warrior, right? Yes, that's correct. But after hearing Bhagavad Gita, understanding Bhagavad Gita, he became a Brahmin. But before that, he was not a Brahmin. He was a Kripana. Kripana. Opposite to Brahmana is Kripana. Kripana means one who maintains material attachment within his heart. He is a Kripana. Or Kripana means a miser person. Miser. A foolish person. Ignorant person is known as Kripana. And Brahman means a liberal person or intelligent person or knowledgeable person, learned man. So he is a Brahmana. So he doesn't maintain any material attachment. He acts on the platform of duty, free from material attachments. So before hearing Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was a Kripana. He was acting like an ignorant and attached person, foolish person. But after hearing Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna became a Brahmana. So he was a Brahmana warrior after hearing Bhagavad Gita, because he was fighting without any attachment, just as a matter of duty. Rather, he transcended even that situation, not just a Brahman warrior. Arjuna actually became, after reading Bhagavad Gita, he became a devotee warrior. Devotee warrior he became, Kshatriya devotee. And he acted on a spiritual platform as a matter of serving Krishna or pleasing Krishna. He was acting. Okay. Any other question? Yes, Ankita Mataji, do you have some question?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु, दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु।
Yes.
जैसे अभी हमने जो समझा उसमें एक चीज और समझ में आई, जैसे टीचर कैसे भी अपने स्टूडेंट को एग्जाम के लिए प्रिपेयर करता है कि आप क्लियर कर सको, ये वैसा है क्या? मतलब उन्हें एक एग्जाम था अर्जुन, तो क्वालिफाई
Yes,
करना तो बिना
Krishna.
डर के। हरे कृष्ण।
Yes, Krishna was preparing Arjuna. First of all, Krishna wanted Arjuna to act in a best way so that he may not at all get entangled with the reaction of fighting in the battlefield, and that is special to act on a special platform. But when Arjuna was unable to do so, so then Krishna reduced his standard, and he said, "Okay, at least considering yourself to be a kshatriya, you fight. So you will not get free from entanglement, but at least you will get pious credit, and you will get promoted to heavenly planets." So that also urged Krishna, because uh, executing one's duty, whether material or spiritual, is always good. At least better than remaining idle and lazy and crazy. Because if one remains lazy and crazy, inactive fool, so he cannot do anything in this world. He is in mode of completely mode of ignorance. So better than remaining in mode of ignorance, one should at least be little bit passionate. Okay, let's do some material activity. At least do some material activity, so that material activity means material duties. I am telling about you. Material duties, not just material activity doesn't mean sinful activity. That also comes in mode of ignorance platform. But material duties to karma, to perform karma, that is mode of passion, and then in that way he may get pious credit, and he may get promoted to higher destination, and in that way he will also may not unnecessarily engage himself in sinful activity. So that's why this is also good. Okay, yes, any other question?
तो मुझे इस श्लोक से ना अभी कुछ मतलब इस श्लोक से मुझे बहुत कुछ समझ में आया और मुझे आगे का रास्ता भी पता चला। एक्चुअली मेरे साथ कॉलेज में ये हुआ था कि मेरी एक टीचर है, मुस्लिम है, जो कि प्रोफेसर है। उन्होंने मेरे तिलक पे ऑब्जेक्शन किया कि आप तिलक लगा के नहीं आ सकते, ये रूल के अकॉर्डिंग है। और मैंने उनसे ना स्ट्रिक्टली बात किया, मैंने कहा कि ठीक है, अब मैं ये तिलक उतारने के लिए तैयार हूँ, क्या आप यहाँ पे जो लड़कियां आती हैं बुर्खा पहन के, उनका बुर्खा उतारने के लिए तैयार हो? तो बोली ये हमारा धर्म है। तो मैंने बोला ये मेरा धर्म है, तो जब आप अपने धर्म को नहीं छोड़ सकते तो मैं अपने धर्म को कैसे छोड़ूं? मैंने स्ट्रिक्टली उनसे बोला। बाद में मुझे बुरा भी लगा कि मुझे ऐसा बात नहीं करना चाहिए था, गिल्ट भी था थोड़ा, बट इस श्लोक से क्लियर हो गया।
तो हमको बोलना चाहिए। हमको ऐसा नहीं कि कोई अगर हमारे धर्म के प्रिंसिपल्स को फॉलो करने के लिए मना कर दे तो हम ना उसको उसको मान लें। बट वो टीचर हैं, तो ये पोलाइटली बोला जा सकता है, प्रेम से बोल देने का, बट फॉलो करने का अपने धर्म के प्रिंसिपल्स। वी शुड नॉट नेग्लेक्ट, नॉट जस्ट अबाउट टीचर, but even sometimes our parents, relatives, and friend circle also, they may also speak so many things, that why are you chanting so many rounds? Just chant a single one time name, just do some worship, एक बार ऐसे पूजा कर दो, अगरबत्ती दिखा दो बस। And why are you going to temple so many so frequently, and attending so many programs, hearing so many lectures? तो इस प्रकार से लोग बोलेंगे। So but we should not hear them, but we should politely say to them that, oh, no, no, I like this. I like to do this. I like to chant Hare Krishna. This helps me to control, calm my mind. So it helps me. And so that I can focus on my material duties as well. So it helps me. So I can save myself to get distracted in in this world. It helps my mind to become free from entanglement. So in this way, politely we can tell, and we should follow rigidly, even if they do not accept, even if they tell us again and again that don't chant so many rounds, don't go to temple multiple times, don't attend, don't hear so many lectures. So we should not argue unnecessary, because they may be elders, but we can a few times we can tell very politely, no, no, it helps me, and it helps my mind to become peaceful and purify. I feel purified. I feel encouraged to properly go ahead in this material world. So I do this. But even if they don't accept this, and still they say, then you just hear and just forget it. You do your business. Okay. Hare Krishna. Yes, another question. Hare Krishna.